So what's up, everyone? I'm Arjun Talks Fights, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Savannah Marshall. She's an amateur gold medalist, an undisputed boxing champion, an undefeated MMA fighter. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm not too bad. Yeah, it's starting to get really cold here, so I'm ready for bed.
So talk to me a little bit about your journey in boxing. Obviously you had like a very decorated amateur background, but you started when not a lot of women were in boxing. So talk to me about that journey and your entry in boxing.
Um, I just Boxing was something that wasn't really big in my family. I'd never really watched boxing, and I was just sort of influenced by friends. Um, Went along to the gym, was impressed by, just the work ethic by everyone, and the music, the sound, even the smell, and that was it. Really, I was hooked from day one.
I see. And was it tough for you, going to a gym in like a male-dominated gym, male-dominated sport, or did going with your friends kind of help you there?
Going with friends helped, but yeah, from the get go, I realised that I was kind of the minority, and very rarely I come across another female.
I see. And talk to me a little bit about your amateur experience as well, right? You've been a gold champion in the World Championships, in the Commonwealth Games. You fought in the Olympics. How did that kind of shape your love for boxing, and how do you know you want to do this as a career?
And I didn't really. I just really enjoyed it. I never once thought, oh, I want to go to the Olympics or I want to become a professional boxer. I just really, uh, especially very early on, I was very in the moment. I just really, really enjoyed boxing. Um, and it wasn't really, I would say, till I got about 26, 27, and I did turn professional. I thought, oh, wow, have I could really set myself up for life here. So, I'm talking, what's that, about 15 years of boxing. That's when I first really thought, right, if I knuckle down now, even more than what I have been, and make the right moves at the right time, I could really make something of myself.
I see. And what was kind of your hesitancy to make it a career a little bit earlier, or was it just you building yourself up in the sport?
No, the opportunities just weren't there for women. Yeah, we'd go to World Championships with Team GB and Commonwealth Games, but there was no real buzz about around it. It wasn't female boxing hadn't really taken off then,
Right.
and there was definitely no money in it then. So that was one thing. I wasn't doing it for money. I was just doing it for the enjoyment.
I see. But going over to your pro career, your first fight was on one of the biggest cards of all time, right? Mayweather and Conor McGregor. How did
Mm.
that opportunity come about to you?
I was just approached by a guy called Sam Jones, who was big in management and boxing now, and he just approached me and said, "Look, Mayweather Promotions want to sign you." And I was just a bit taken back, and it was just the best offer. Sorry, it was the only offer I had at the time, the only offer. Um, and I was kind of intrigued by, look, the moving to America, being based in Las Vegas, fighting on that undercard. So that's what really drew me to it.
I see. And talk to me about, fighting that card. What was that experience like, on one of the biggest cards of all time and you fighting in Vegas?
It was unbelievable. I feel like I felt like I started at the top at the start.
Yeah,
Once you've done, once you've made your debut in Vegas, does it ever get any better than that?
right.
Um, but it was unreal. It was an amazing experience. It really was. Just the whole drama of McGregor and Mayweather. It was, like I said, I'd started right at the top.
Right. And eventually, you got through a couple fights. You won your first world title on, another big card, Usyk and Chisora. What was that like winning your
Mm.
first title and kind of accomplishing one of the biggest goals in boxing?
For me, it was a bittersweet moment because I was meant to box in the March for a world title, and then COVID hit. And I remember just sitting back and watching every female get an opportunity apart from me. and it really annoyed me. Really, really annoyed me. It kind of gave me that bit of how would you describe it? I was kind of a bit mad at the boxing world. And that's when I realised, like, look, boxing's a business. You know
Right.
what? We're not all getting equal opportunities. Professional boxing's hard. And
Yeah.
like I said, week in, week out, I sit and watch every other female get their opportunity. And for me, I remember thinking, right, well, my fight was the last one to be first one to be cancelled because of COVID. So why shouldn't I be the first one on? I mean, 2 weeks to go and you've cancelled my world title fight.
Right.
So for me, it was kind of like I said, a bittersweet moment for me that I finally got my chance.
And what's kind of the hardest challenges you faced throughout boxing? Obviously, there was the pandemic and getting opportunities for women, but aside from that, or what are some of your challenges that you face?
Probably just mainly the being a woman. I don't want to say lucky because I don't believe in luck. I believe in, right place at the right time. But my fight with Clarissa happened the right place at the right time. Um, I think it happened at the pinnacle of female boxing, and I
Right.
don't think female boxing's topped that yet. I think it will, but not. I would have liked it to carry like the whole buzz of female boxing to carry on and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the Saudis come in and make it even bigger, and women are getting equal pay, and that just never happened. It kind of took a nosedive, so
Yeah,
that's been quite sad to see. But I do believe that it will pick back up and it will get to where it needs to be. I just don't think it would be in my lifetime. Well, not my lifetime, my career time type thing.
I see. And talk to me about the fight with Clarissa, obviously fighting in the O2 and your rivalry with Clarissa from the amateurs to the pros. How's that been important for your career?
It was brilliant. Like I said, it was the right place at the right time. It was marketed really well. I just wish that again I learned probably some of the points of the business side. I was told there was a rematch, um, and I agreed to fight Clarissa in the March of the following year, but she didn't want the fight. So really, it should have been forced upon, but it just never was. Um, Maybe that's down to having the people around me or the promoters type thing. But look, it's just a learning curve, that type of thing.
I see. And after your fight with Clarissa, your next fight, you went to super middleweight, won the undisputed title. What was that like, getting all the belts, being pretty much at the pinnacle of boxing?
To be honest, that was an awful time. It was awful because when I turned pro, all I wanted was all the belts. And then I got them, and it
Right.
was it was kind of. I remember the next day waking up in the hotel and just feeling empty and thinking, "Oh my God, I've kind of completed what I set out to do." And it was like, "Well, what do I do now?"
Yeah,
So, and I always think that the getting there is a lot better than actually getting there. So it was
I see.
it was quite a sad time, really. And then because of that, I felt a lot of, oh, do I even want to fight anymore? I've kind of, like I said, I've completed the checklist in boxing now. And then I'd got offered a contract with MMA, PFL. And I thought, oh, wow, something different. I'll take it. And that really gave me the buzz again, really gave me the want to compete. Um, and it was an amazing experience. I absolutely loved it.
I see. And tell me more about the PFL fight, right? You've had one fight in MMA. Is that something you want to continue in the future, or was it just one fight?
No, I'm still contracted at 3 fights with the PFL. Um, So I'm just waiting to see what they really want to do with me. But like I said, I think MMA is absolutely unbelievable. And do you know what? If I was younger, because I'm 34 now, if I was in my early 20s, I would give MMA a really, really good go.
I see.
But I just think it's brutal.
Tell me about what you enjoy more about competing in MMA and competing in boxing and the challenges in both.
I enjoy in MMA that it's a lot more stimulating for me, and that I think that's down to because I've did boxing for so long.
I see.
Pads, sparring bags, jab, 1, 2, hook. Where in MMA, it was just a whole new world. There was groundwork, there was kicking, there was wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And
Right.
it was like I said, it was a lot more stimulating for me because I'd boxed for 20 odd years plus doing the kind of the same routine really.
I see. And just recently, this year, you signed with MVP, and obviously they're putting on a lot of, big women's
Mm.
fights, big women's events. Why did you feel like that was an important move for you? And what was it like fighting on Madison Square Garden?
Again, I just believe it was making the right move at the right time. Nothing was really happening with me with the promoter that I was with. A lot of chess pieces were moving, and I just felt like MVP was the best move for me. Like you said, they've signed a lot of females. They're really backing female sports, and I just feel like it's the right place for me in the specific time.
I see. And just today, there was a huge fight announced between, one of
Mm.
your MVP stablemates and one of your British countrymen, Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. What are your thoughts on that? There's so much to talk about in that one.
I'm quite surprised that Anthony Joshua was taking it. It's clearly for the money, clearly. Um, because why would you? I don't. It's kind of you've competed at this elite level for so long, and then you're fighting someone who's not even in your weight class,
Right.
and again, kind of not even boxing for a title in his own weight class. Why would like? It's just a bit bizarre. But look, I've heard there's a lot of money involved, so it's clearly for the money. But then it comes to the point where when's enough money? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's kind of I don't know. Will I watch it? Probably not. I probably won't tune in.
I see.
um, but I'd be interested to see the highlight reel after. But look, fair play to Jake because wow, he's getting one of the biggest punching heavyweights of this modern era.
Right.
So wow, fair play. And like I said, there he's getting paid a lot of money. He's
Yeah.
moving up in weight class. He's jumping up in ability. So fair play.
And is there any chance you want to return on that card, or are you looking at a future card potentially?
Look, I'd love the return with Shadari Green. Been told, well, she doesn't want the fight. She doesn't have to fight me. So it's one of them. I'm kind of in a situation where do I don't go now? I'm no longer a world champion. I don't have a belt, so really I'm a lot of risk with a low reward.
I see.
So I think it'll be quite interesting for me to see what happens early next year in where I am on like I said, the chessboard. But it's an interesting one.
And is the Shadeja fight the main one you're looking at, or are you also looking at like a 160 or maybe a move up to heavyweight, Shields?
To be honest, there's not that many women about. I didn't even really want the green fight. I didn't, but it was a stepping stone to get the Clarissa rematch.
I
The
see.
Clarissa fight's the only fight I want.
Okay.
Um, am I likely to get it now? No, no, I don't think I'll get that fight now. And the longer it goes on, the further and further away it gets from me. Anyone else in the division? Christina Hammer's making a comeback. Again, she's got nothing I want. Green rematch, yeah, probably for ego, but there's nothing really else that I'd really want, like that really gives me that want. Do you know? I believe I won the fight. I believe I won the fight quite comfortably.
I see.
So it would be just purely for ego.
Okay. And so in an ideal world, what would your next year look like? Is it solely boxing? Is it an MMA fight as well? Or
Like I said, I'm just waiting to see what the PFL want to do with me. I'd love to get back in the cage. Love to, because like I said, I really, really enjoyed it the first time round. But I feel like sport as a whole is in a really funny predicament at the minute. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's rolling as freely as it has done in the past. I feel like it's kind of, especially boxing, especially with the boxing. I feel like the boxing's in a bit of a predicament where no one knows where they are and no one knows what they're doing yet. So hopefully I'll have a more clearer path next year.
I see. And earlier, you also mentioned you want to see down the line in boxing, the Saudis get involved in Turkey and more, money and equal opportunities for women. What do you think about the Saudis' involvement in boxing right now, and how could they, add to helping women's boxing in the future?
Well, one thing that I do really like about the UFC is that, yeah, they don't get mad money. But one thing I really do like is that men and women get treated equally. Like if you're a champion, all the champions get pay-per-view money. All the champions get the same pairs. And that's what I really, really like about the UFC. And with the Saudis partnering up with Dana White, look, maybe we'll see that. It's not mad money. But look, things can always change. Everyone can always do better. So look, I think that tournament's really, really interesting. The TKO, is it TKO promotions or
Yeah,
something? I think that's really interesting. A lot of people are shooting it down and can't really figure out how it's going to work. What's going to happen to the champ? The likes of Anthony Joshua. Is
right.
he really going to take a massive pay cut to go and box for peanuts? But I'm interested. Do you know what the likes of me, the likes of fighters coming up that probably would never ever get a chance, haven't got a massive promoter backing them. It's a great opportunity for them.
Right. And eventually, after your career is finished, is promoting fights or promoting women's boxing or prospects, is that something that you want to get into down the line?
I'll always promote female boxing. I love female sport. I like the WSL. I like England rugby done really well a couple of months ago. I'm really big on female sport, and I think not just females. I think everyone should support female sport because it's brilliant. It's
Right,
really really good. And maybe it's not as entertaining as the men's, but look at the football. The women's England football do a lot better than the men's.
right,
But would I like to get involved in the business side? No, I think it's too cutthroat for me. I'd probably be one of them promoters that would probably overpay someone because I felt sorry for them. Whereas, yeah, I don't think you could be like that in boxing. You've got to be savage, and I haven't got that in me.
I see. Well, those are kind of the questions I had, but if you kind of have a message for the viewers or you want to shout at your socials or talk about what your next fight is going to be, go for it.
No, like I said, I haven't really got a clear map at the minute whether it'll be PFL or MVP, boxing or MMA. It's just I'm probably just sitting tight till next year. But again, just I've always had a very, very um loyal following. I've got a lot of, again, I just feel like people really get behind females in this country, and I think it's brilliant. I think it's really, really. I think we're quite fortunate,
Right.
and well, I'm quite fortunate to be from this country, and I've got quite a big following. So look, I'm just really, really grateful for everyone's bought tickets and still supporting me.
And if you want to shout out your socials as well, go for it.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, um, Facebook, just the usual. Don't know me handle names. I'm not that tech savvy.
No worries. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I want to thank you for your time. It was great interviewing you, and you've done so much for women's boxing, combat sports in general. So it really meant a lot interviewing
Yeah.
you.
No, thank you very much. Thanks for your time.